Hello and welcome to the Radiate Wellness Podcast with your host, metaphysician, Reiki master, and hypnotherapist, Christy Clemens Hoffman. Each week, we will discover teachings, tips, and tools to radiate your best life ever with practitioners, authors, and luminaries to help you on your path. Wellness, joy, peace, abundance. What do you want to radiate?
Hello and welcome back to the Radiate Wellness Podcast. Today we radiate karma with Subhash Jain, who is the author of Mastering Karma, The Path to Inner Peace. Thank you so much for joining me today, Subhash.
Thank you, Christy.
And so this book, the Mastering Karma, The Path to Inner Peace, why karma? What do you have to offer the world about karma that we might not know already?
Oh, you see, it's a long story. I came to this country from a country where everybody knows the word karma. And when I came here in 1967, I found practically nobody knew the word karma.
Right.
Now and keep in mind, I came 1967, so that was 55 years ago. And of course, I came from India where everybody knew karma to a country where practically nobody knew karma. Then of course, I know for the last 30 years, people start learning about spirituality, they talk about karma, and they have some notion about karma. And then I found, because their concept of karma is based on very simple presupposition. They assumed, because in karma, the basic thing is this proverb, what you sow, so you reap.
Right.
Yeah, and the problem is that who keeps his accounting? And I think in here I know, because in all these Christianity or Judaism, they believe in God, and they think, God keeps the accounting, so they need not to worry about how this system is maintained, and you just basically do your deeds, do your actions, and God will take care, and then that's it. So you really just know, you can understand the karma doctrine in one word, okay? That you do good actions, you will have good consequences. You do bad action, you will have bad consequences, and that's it. But my faith, which is Jainism, we don't believe in God.
Really? Okay.
There are two faiths. One of them is Jainism and other is Buddhism. Both faiths, they don't believe in God. Buddha didn't believe in God.
Right.
And similarly, the founder of my faith called Mahavira, he also didn't believe in God. And both Buddha and Mahavira, they were contemporary. So I'm talking about time which was 2,500 years ago, is a very, very old faith. Because just like Buddhism, Jainism is very, very old faith. And both faiths, they don't believe in God. Then the problems become, if there is no God, then who maintains this account? And so this becomes really complicated, because there is a natural system, is innate system which is built in the body, built in the system, and which maintains this accounting business. And this is the main problem, because to understand how this accounting is done, so it becomes so involved that you have to really understand it. So just having this idea, you do good deeds and you'll have good consequences, bad deed, bad consequences, but that doesn't explain everything, because how this accounting is done is very, very important. And I use a word called karmic debt. We born with some karmic debt.
Mm-hmm.
Just like in Christianity, there is a word called we born as a sinner.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So this karmic debt is like a sin. So you came with sin, you born with a sin or karmic debt. The only difference is this karmic debt is based on your past deed. So in Jainism, everything depends on your past action. So you came from somewhere, and you will, after death, you will go somewhere. So there is reincarnation or rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the main difference, because in Christianity, you don't believe in reincarnation, but in Jainism, everything is based on that you came from somewhere, because soul is eternal. It never dies. So my soul came from somewhere, and when I die, my soul will go somewhere. And where it will go will depend upon how much karmic debt it will carry with it.
Right.
And so when I was born as a human being, I came with a karmic debt, and I'm doing these actions every day, some good actions, and when I do good action, my karmic debt goes down. When I do bad action, my karmic debt goes up, and my karmic debt keeps fluctuating up and down, and when I will die, I will die with a certain amount of karmic debt. And depending upon how much karmic debt in Jainism, you will go either to hell, as in Christianity. When you do bad action, you will go to hell. If you do good action, if you have a less karmic debt, you will go to heaven. And if you have some in between, so you can become as a human being again, or you can become as a subhuman being. You can born as an animal or insect or plant life. We believe that all living beings have soul.
Right.
All human beings, even the plant has a soul, all the insects have soul, all animals have soul. So when I die, depending upon how much karmic debt I will carry, that will control my next life. And if I carry too much karmic debt, chances are I will born as a subhuman being, as an animal or insect. But if I do good deeds, maybe I will go to heaven, or maybe I will born as a human being. So there is a big range. And this karma doctrine tells you that how this accounting, how to keep accounting this karmic debt, what kind of action you should do that your karmic debt keeps going down. And so this is a little bit more involved karma doctrine. And because people in this country now, because they really don't believe in a particular faith, they believe in spirituality. And spirituality, it's fine. But I think, again, one definitely has to do their actions, proper action. They don't want that their karmic debt should keep on increasing. So they need to know a little bit more in depth, a little bit more. And that's what my book does. It basically explains what kind of action will increase your karmic debt and what kind of action will decrease your karmic debt. And that's very, very important.
That is very, very important. So you're right. I think here in the United States, where you're living right now in Iowa City, right? Iowa City, Iowa, and teaching at the university as well, which is something I want to get into.
Mm-hmm.
Really, the idea in the United States seems to be more that karma is a reward and a punishment.
Yeah, both. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Reward and punishment, whereas how you're describing it and how I've heard that the original term means is more like balance.
Yeah, exactly.
Find balance and try to get to the neutral zero balance if possible.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, if you roughly died with the same karmic load, chances are you will be born again human being. The idea in Jainism is that you want to get into this cycle of birth and death.
Okay.
And So if you make your karmic debt to zero, then you become a pure soul. So your soul will die without karmic debt, and then you will not reborn again. So as long as your soul carries some karmic debt, you have to come back to this universe.
Okay, yes.
The idea is that you want to bring your karmic debt to zero, so that you need not to be born again, and you become a pure soul. And you can say pure soul is like a god, for example. You can probably consider, if you believe in God, that God is a pure soul and it need not to reborn and do anything, and it just basically become just an observer. He just observes and knows everything, is a omnipotent, omniscient, everything, but it doesn't born again. And karmic debt that's the concept in Jainism. Yeah.
And so that's if the karmic debt is zero.
Right.
But what if you've got a karmic balance?
Yeah.
You've got so much good balanced karma. Like what happens? Is there something that happens then?
Well, you see, again, if you keep doing good deeds, others make compassion, so everything you're doing good, then your karmic debt keeps decreasing, and you will find, you will notice if when your karmic debt goes down, your inner peace, the title of my book is Inner Peace. Right. Then you will really feel this inner peace. Inner peace is the property of soul. We sometimes get confused. Inner peace is not happiness which is transient. This happiness is related to our senses. This transient happiness we feel every day. If we get something, or we feel happy. If we don't get something, we feel miserable. These depends on your senses. We are not talking about this. Inner peace is not related to this transient happiness. This happiness, inner peace, is related to, this is the property of soul. It is not property of senses. So we mostly think ourselves as a body, not as a soul. So I want to make a distinction that I am made of two things. I am made of soul as well as body. But somehow we put more emphasis on body. We really never in our life we pay any attention to our soul. When we do anything any day, we just want to take care of our body. We just want to make it as comfortable as possible. And we really don't think about our soul. But Jainism, we think soul is more important than the body. And once you think, I have to take care of my soul also, and taking care of soul means you want to reduce your karmic debt. Because you have to keep worrying, if I have this karmic debt, then in my next life I will be born as a animal. So you don't want to really go to hell. So you have to worry, I need to do certain actions so that my karmic debt at least stay within certain limits. So ideally, if you can reduce it to zero and you become God or pure soul, that is the aim, that's the purpose, that's the purpose of our life. But if you think, no, it's not, I don't think I can really do, but at least you can balance as you use the word, balancing this karmic debt. So you keep balancing and don't do too many bad deeds and keep doing some good deeds, and chances are your karmic debt will remain at reasonable level, and you will be born again as a human being. So which is okay. So again in the next life you again, so you are back again and think about, now again you have to try again. That's the main problem. As long as you carry this karmic debt, there is no escape. Eventually, sooner or later, of course, keep in mind, because the soul is eternal, my soul, I've been born infinite times. Because my soul, I don't know. As I said, I've been born infinite times, and I must have born all kind of life form. I must be plant sometime. I must have gone to hell. I must go heaven. But now I know I am a human being. Now I got a chance that I can reduce my karmic debt because I have what I call free will, and I have knowledge, and I have my karmic debt is not that high. Is okay, so I can do certain actions, so I still can reduce my karmic debt. And one word we use normally in Jainism is non-violent action. You should believe in non-violence.
Right.
Don't hurt anybody. So that's the main important thing. As long as you do your deeds without hurting anybody, that will the kind of action you want to do. And hurting means not only hurting in a physical sense that you are trying to hit somebody or kill somebody. Even any living being, you see, the problem is all living beings have soul, and even the animals. You don't hurt animals, you don't hurt plants, you don't hurt insect. And just like this indigenous people, they believe that even the earth, air, water, all nature, they don't want to hurt anybody. So in Jainism also we believe even earth, air, water, they have some kind of soul. You don't want to hurt anybody. So one extreme, you be careful when you do anything. Don't do some unnecessary thing which you are unknowingly, involuntarily also hurting somebody. So just be careful and be non-violent in your action and keep doing actions without hurting anybody, and then you are on the right path and your karmic debt will keep going down, and then chances are you will become a god again.
So the question I have is, what types of actions build to your karmic debt, and what type of actions release your karmic debt?
Yeah, I said that non-violent actions will reduce the karmic debt. And non-violent actions, you don't hurt anybody. If you do any action, if you're not hurting anybody, then you are definitely reducing a karmic debt. And in my book, there is a term I call Moha, M-O-H-A, M-O-H-A, Moha. Moha is a very important term in Jainism. And Moha includes basically this attachment of aversion, because we have attachment. So certain thing like we get attached, if it's certain thing we don't like, we hate. Because we have these desires and we want. The problem is that we always want we are so attached to ourselves, our body, what I call ego. Ego is the word which everybody understands. So due to this ego, we have these attachment and aversions. And so we hate some people, we don't like some people, we love some people. So we should have equanimity. We should really hate or attach to somebody. You should consider every living being is equal and you should behave equally with everyone. So you should have any attachment and aversion or hatred. And that's what this non-violent act is. You really don't do any attachment and hatred. And so in Jainism, we have what I call 5 vows, VOW, 5, which one will be this non-violence. The other will be truth. You always speak truth. Don't steal. And important thing, is non-possession. Don't try to accumulate too many things. That's the main problem. We keep accumulating these material things. Yeah. So, and that's causing all this environmental problem, climate problem we have is because we became so much consumer oriented. We want to consume so much. So in Jainism, one thing is we try to teach is try to live with less. So you learn to live with less. And once everybody start learning to live with less, all these problems will go away, this climate problem, everything, because instead of becoming consumer-oriented, you should go inward and think you really don't need that many things, actually. And that's the thing, basically. So once the fourth vow I'll talk about this non-possession, that don't try to accumulate too many things. And that's very, very important in Jainism. And that's what my book indicates, that if you do these actions with non-violence and non-possession, then you are in very good shape and you will keep decreasing karmic debt.
Did you know that Radiate Wellness is more than just a podcast? That's right. We're also a comprehensive, holistic wellness practice. Find out about our services, practitioners, and upcoming events at radiatewellnesscommunity.com. While you're there, visit our podcast page to read more about our great guests and even donate to the podcast. If you like our podcast, you can help in other ways as well, like subscribe or follow us wherever you're listening right now. Tell a friend, a family member, or a coworker about the great content you find here. And if you wouldn't mind, please give us a thumbs up, a 5-star rating, or a positive review. Sounds like a small thing, but it really helps. You might like to know about our Facebook communities while we're at it. We have a free community, the Radiate Wellness Community, on Facebook for news and great free content. Our subscribers group is Radiate U, as in the letter U, but also, well, you. There you'll find curated replays of past classes, guest interviews, and more. And now, back to our podcast and back to our guest.
Wonderful. Now, earlier you said that if we have too much karmic debt, we can be born again as a lower life form.
Yeah, exactly.
Do these lower life forms have opportunities to release karmic debt?
Yeah, you see, again, they lower life form because they don't have what I call free will, because they lower form, they don't have mind. You see, the upper human being, we have mind. I'm making a distinction between mind and soul. Yes. Soul is a different thing. Mind is made of matter.
Right.
So we have mind, and using mind we have free will. So but lower form of life, because they don't have mind, so they really don't know what is good and what is bad. Only the environment they are living, that will control whether their karmic debt will increase or decrease. For example, suppose you take any animal. We know the most animals are carnivores. They kill somebody, but doesn't matter, because keep in mind their average karmic debt is larger than human being, because they are subhuman being, so they were born with large karmic debt. Mm-hmm. Yes, implies. You see, more karmic debt. So they have large karmic debt, and this large karmic debt means their average, this word I call mo, their intensity mo is also large, because the karmic debt increases with intensity of mo. So most animals, they will have large intensity of mo, okay? But this intensity of more will keep changing if they live in an environment in which they really need not to fight. There is ample food, for example, and they really need not to fight too much. They just kill whatever they need to kill, and then so their intensity of more during that killing will be less than their already intensity of their already accumulated karmic debt. Yes. So if there are no action with less intensity, that will decrease their karmic load.
Okay.
No action should be carried out with less intensity of more. And so it depends on the environment. So fortunately, if they are fortunate, there's enough food, they don't fight too much, they get ample food, so they just do little bit killing for just to survive. And so they will find that, eventually they will go and become human being. But they don't have control on the environment. It's just by chance. They live in an environment which is favorable environment, so they can do these actions with less more. Then they will decrease their karma. But if they are in an environment where they have to fight every day to survive, then definitely their karmic debt will increase. So that's why I don't want to become a subhuman being, because that beyond my control. It will be just by chance. If I happen to be in good environment, my karmic debt will decrease and will become a human being again. So that's why I'm trying now, at least in my life, that at least I don't think I'm ready to become God. I don't think I will be able to decrease my karmic load. But I'm trying not to increase my karmic load too much, that I will be born as some human being. And chances are that if I do these actions, and I will with compassion with everybody, don't hurt anybody. And I think if I do with non-violent actions and I'm trying not to accumulate too many things. And that's what I'm trying to do. And hopefully, and this is not only for decreasing karmic debt, it is for the survival of this universe. Everybody has to try to live with less, because that's the wrong direction we are going. Because everybody nobody wants to change. Everybody wants to consume more, and they think somehow the climate should improve. It's not going to improve unless we really modify ourselves, unless we really change our habits and try to, in order to make this planet habitable, we'll have to definitely start consuming less. And that's what I'm trying to do. And that's what my book is also emphasizing.
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. Just decrease our footprint on this world.
Exactly. Rightly.
I have a question. In your book, you have chapters on karmic body, karma, karmic field.
Mm-hmm.
What is the difference between these three?
You see, the karmic body is like a genetic body. So where all this accounting is done is again made of matter, but that matter is so fine. You see, you can't see karmic body. We can see genetic body. We can see physical body. But karmic body we can't see. That's the main problem. Karmic is made of very subtle matter, which is very, very fine matter, which even scientists are fighting, because according to scientists, 96% of mass in this universe, they don't know.
Yes, right, exactly.
And they are trying to find out what this dark matter or dark energy is.
Right.
So my karmic body is part of that dark matter, dark energy, which even the scientists can't see. And this is really very, very fine matter. Right. So this is the karmic body.
Okay.
And this, the term you said, I'm using karmic. You see, the new action, because the new action will change, because this karmic body has all these past karma. You see, the account of my past actions, because I'm doing action, I'm accumulating karmic debt. Right now I'm talking, I'm doing this action, and due to this action, I'm accumulating karmic debt.
Yes.
But my new karmic debt will affect my accumulated karmic debt. If my intensity of my mo is less than the average intensity of my accumulated mo, then the total karmic load will go down. So that I'm doing a good action. If I'm doing a new action with a large intensity of mo, my old karmic debt will increase.
Yes.
So this accounting, this is an interactive field. This karmic field is an interactive field. The new field, the new karmic load interacts with the old karmic load and keep modifying. If new karmic load is good, then it will reduce the old karmic load and your total karmic load will go down. If your new karmic load is bad, then it will increase your old karmic load also. So this interactive karmic field, so I talk about karmic field because this new, word of karma I'm using, this karma we attach to this karmic body, that will modify my already attached karma. So that's the interaction I'm talking about. So I talk about karmic field because it is a interactive karmic field. The new karmic field will interact with the old karmic field, and depending upon whether you new karma or good karma, then the old karmic load will go down. If new karma is bad, then the old karmic load will increase. And so this accounting is done automatically. This is a built-in system in this karmic body, and is just like genetic body. Genetic body, this tiny DNA molecule has so much information stored. You won't believe that if you print out your genome, it's so much information in just a tiny drop of just one DNA. Yeah. So if DNA can store that much information, this karmic body can store really, this is much finer. It can have all the information we need during this interaction and to find out how your karmic debt is going up and down. And that's what basically is happening.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I wanted to circle back because you are Professor Emeritus of Engineering.
Yes.
Yes, from the University in Iowa. Civil and environmental engineering, in fact. How does an engineer take such an interest in inner peace and karma?
Yeah, you see, when I came in here in 1967, at that time, I was also involved in all these worldly things, and I really didn't care about my soul. But with time, as I became old, and I interacted with people here, they start talking about karma, so I need to tell them what karma is. So I start studying myself karma. Because at that time, I came in 1967, I myself didn't know much about karma. But after retiring, I really became interested in karma and I retired in 2003, and for the last 20 years, I've studied a lot about karma, and I did actually another Ph.D. thesis.
Yes, I saw that. Yes, you have a Ph.D. in Jainism.
Yeah, right, on karma. Yeah, so that's what basically I did. And then because I found people here have still not really very good concept of karma. So I thought at least they should be at least aware that there is a faith called Jainism, and they have another model or other karma doctrine, and just I'm not saying they should follow, but at least they should try to read what this particular faith is telling and see, if it makes sense, then say, yeah, if that's what they believe, yeah, my karmic debt, I need to maintain my karmic debt to it in balance, then, yeah, so do non-violent action, non-possession, and then you're in good shape, and that's what basically it is. And so I think the idea is that don't just follow one model, just read a few different models and then evaluate, okay, I know this model, we know at least consumer model, we know we don't really care about soul. This is one model which everybody follows, but at least there is another way. Oh no, I have soul also, not only body, I have to take care of my soul. And how do I take care of my soul? And that's the only thing. And you take care of your soul by reducing your karmic debt. So if you believe that soul is more important than body, that's the main thing. As long as your ego is very strong, you really won't care about your soul. So somehow you control your ego. And once you go inside and go inward and try to find inner self rather than the outer self, the body, once you go inner self and talk about your inner self, your inner soul, there is only one way, just get rid of this ego. And that once you get rid of ego, that's the term I mow. Those people who have a lot of ego, their mow is very high. Yeah. So to decrease your mow, you have to decrease your ego, and that's what basically your ego goes down, mow goes down, your karmic debt goes down, and you are in good shape, and that's good for you and good for the environment. That's another thing we should emphasize, that living with less. The whole idea is try to live with less rather than try to accumulate more, which everybody is going in the wrong direction. Because if you definitely just this minor thing here and there is not going to cut down this pollution. We have to reduce our consumption. That's the main thing.
Absolutely.
And yeah.
So it sounds like this mo is can be related to intensity, like doing things with intensity, having a lot of intensity. Is that accurate?
Yeah, you see, more sometimes if you have very less attachment and aversion, then your more will be really very small. Intensity will be very, very feeble, very small. But if you have very large attachment, your desires are very large and you want to do everything in the world, and then that means it's telling you that your more is so large that you really want to accumulate everything. So what you desire, this intensity of more depends on your number of desires. As your number of desires keep increasing, your intensity of more will also increase. So what you want to do, basically, you want to cut down your desires, because desires and attachment and aversion, they are related. If you just think of that, if you have no desire, just close your eye and you think you really don't need anything, you will be so happy. The problem is that we desire so many things, and we don't get those things, that we feel unpleasant, we feel miserable. So the desire is the main problem. And the number of desire increases our more, and increasing more means increasing our karmic debt, and everything goes in the wrong direction. Yes. So to decrease karmic debt, decrease your desire, and that will decrease your more, and everything will be fine. So everything is interrelated, and that's what basically the idea is, that don't try to get everything, and so basically cut down the requirements, cut down your desires, and try to be happy with less. Just try to live with less is the motto, basically. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, your book is structured as a fictional account, a story between a guru and a student. Why did you structure it that way?
You see, because when I was writing this book, I asked, because my background, I really didn't know what kind of culture, my cultural background is so different, the cultural background the average American have.
Oh, yes.
So I wrote something, and then I showed to one of my American friends, and he said she was not able to follow anything because her background was so different. And then I found that so she has a lot of questions, and I said, okay. And then I say, okay, maybe if she raised question and I answer, and she raised question and I answer, and then I said, oh, that's a better format, rather than I write something and say, oh, this is the way. The idea is, okay, she was my student and said, oh, I don't follow this. She raised questions and I became guru. And I said, okay, so we had this back and forth. And then I found this style is much better. She raised questions and I asked her to go and read some on internet, because I said, oh, you read this stuff. So she went, she read some, so she read all those things and then came with certain questions. And then we had a lot of good exchange. So when I started, I didn't start with this guru and students. Yeah. But then when I showed this book to my friend, and I immediately realized, because the cultural background of average American is very different, the cultural background of India. Indians were able to follow my book, actually but Americans won't. So that's why I found for Americans, this style will be much better. And now because I live in a community here, which is a co-housing, and we have a lot of Americans here, and they are using my book, and they really like this book, and they said this is, yeah.
Yeah. So it's the Socratic method.
Yeah, exactly. That's what right. Yes.
Teaching through dialogue and questions, which is
wonderful. Yes, that's the best.
Teach at university too. I taught English at university, and it was, it's the same thing. People are going to learn more, and they're going to learn more eagerly and readily when they're getting their questions answered.
Yes.
Yes, it's just a very effective way to write it.
Yes.
So, and you've got some other books out there. What are your other books about?
You see, because I did this Ph.D., so one of the publishers, he agreed to publish my book. Is a very well-known publisher in India. Oh. So another book is my Ph.D. thesis.
Oh,
and
good.
That was published, yeah.
Yes. You're on Jainology?
Yeah, right. Yes.
Yes, wonderful. And then you've written several articles as well.
Yes, I have, yeah.
Yes, and do you have a website where people can go to find out more about what you've written and
unfortunately, because I'm such an old fellow, I was born in an age where we didn't have computers. So by the time, I'm not, I don't have website. I think even the kids have website now. I don't, because I was born in an era where I'm a very, very old fellow.
Fine, but we can find you through your publisher.
Sure.
John Hunt Publishing.
Yes.
The book is available on Amazon, Kindle, Barnes and Noble, all of the
Yes.
all of the things.
Wonderful.
And yes, your book again is Pathways to Peace, The Pathway to Inner Peace. I'm sorry, Mastering Karma, The Path to Inner Peace, Mastering Karma by John Hunt Publishing. Is there anything else that you think we need to know, Subhash, before we...
No, I think
everything.
I think they try to spread this word that everybody should try to live with less. Very, very important. To save this planet, there is no other way. everybody should try to live with less.
Yes.
That's the mantra. Okay.
Absolutely. Well, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sitting and talking with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, please. Thanks a lot.
Radiate Wellness is an international community of holistic and alternative healers dedicated to helping you create spiritual, energetic, and physical well-being. To learn more about our practitioners, services, classes, and events, or to schedule an appointment, visit us at radiatewellnesscommunity.com.